Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of 1025. In each of our relationships, we have perceptions of each other. There's a certain lens through which we tend to view that relationship and that person. Even right now, you're on the other side of the camera. You're watching me, and you're developing a perception of me. And for some of you that I know personally, I've developed a perception of you. This is what we carry into every relationship, for good or for bad. But the challenge is, sometimes we don't know what it's like to be on the other side of the camera. We're just putting off a certain vibe in relationships, and sometimes that negative, and we're unaware of that. I think of Genesis chapter 4, where Cain gets envious of his brother Abel, who offers a better sacrifice. And it causes these emotions to come out of him, to be projected actually on his face. And God comes up to Cain and he says, "Why is your face so downcast? Why are you discouraged? It's almost like you're depressed, you're angry right now." And he's trying to make Cain aware of his emotions, aware of the way that is getting in the way of having a loving relationship with his brother. And he wants him to see that you need to be aware of your emotions. You need to manage your emotions and not be mastered by them. Just because, Cain, you're putting off this certain vibe doesn't mean that you have to continue in that. You can make a change. And unfortunately, Cain doesn't. He's mastered by those emotions, and it leads him to kill his brother. And if we're not careful, the same thing can happen to us in each of our relationships. We can kill the relationship because we become mastered by the emotions that we have inside of us, that we begin to project in that relationship toward others. Unfortunately, I became aware of this in my own relationships recently. I was having a conversation with my wife, and she made me aware of sometimes the way that I project myself, the way that I present myself in conversation with her. And it's a little bit more cold, and it's a little bit more off-putting. And it was hard to hear that. And yet, as I walked away from that conversation, I told her thank you. Because I needed to hear that. It wasn't my intention, that's not the way that I was trying to project myself, but that's the way that she perceived me. So, here's what I want you to do today. I want you to find 3 people that you trust. 3 people that you have a relationship with in different areas of your life. Maybe somebody who's a friend, somebody who's a family member, somebody who's a coworker. And then I want you to ask them one simple question. What's it like to be on the other side of me? Because I don't know the answer to that question. I only see things through my eyes, not through their eyes. But if we're going to learn to have loving relationships, and that's what God calls us to, that's why we're doing this Love Is series this summer. If we're going to have those loving relationships, we need to begin to ask how we're projecting ourselves, how people are perceiving us on the other side of me. So ask that one simple question. What's it like to be on the other side of me? And then I want you to listen. Because they're going to tell you something. They're going to tell you some things that are encouraging. They're going to tell you some things that might be a little surprising. And they're going to tell you some things that might hurt your feelings. But listen. Don't try to rationalize it. Don't try to defend yourself. Don't try to explain yourself. Just listen. And then thank them. And then walk away and take some time to process it in prayer. And to ask God to help you to see and to manage your emotions a little better. Because his desire for us is not that we kill relationships, but that we learn to love each other well. Because that's what life is all about. It's learning to love each other, even as God loves us. So what's it like to be on the other side of me? Ask that question. Learn to love. And I'll see you again next time.